Well, well, well. Welcome back. The Ice Wizard has also come back. Icklicker the Interested sat happily in his cave. He was finally free. For the past several hundred years, he had to put up with more than just the waffling attitudes of humans towards his kind. He'd also had to deal with her, Dandelia. Fitness-obsessed, carb-phobic Dandelia, who basically used him as a cane for her own confidence, never giving him a moment's peace. Everything was about her. Well, no more. She was gone now. Had fallen through the ice into the mouth of a hungry whale. She'd be fine, he thought contentedly. Witches are insoluble. But he'd have peace for at least as long as that whale survived. Time to celebrate. A nice bowl of soaked farro with some crunchy beetles for texture. All it needed was a pinch of salt to bring the flavors together. Dang it all, Icklicker was out. He shook his bony fist. But wait! Maybe Cousin Jefferson has some extra. He was just across the pond. Well, he thought, what is celebration without flavor? Icklicker pulled himself to his feet, smoothed his tattered rag robes, and set out for a brisk walk over the ice. He picked his staff from its holder by the door and stepped out of his cave across the pond. Most unfortunately for Icklicker, the capricious human population had waffled back to intolerance and merciless pranking. Local children had set a booby trap to catch him on his way out of the cave. Delicately balanced was a large bucket of water over his door. The water soaked his long beard and his robes instantly, and the heavy bucket to the head knocked him unconscious. When he woke up, he was frozen solid under a few layers of ice. The kids must have come back with more water and doused him while he was out. Damn kids. Alas, but not to worry. Icklicker would have shrugged it off if he could. It would be spring in a few months, and he would melt free. His kind were timeless, and he would live through this too. To add to Icklicker's misfortune, spring did not come to free him as planned. He was frozen just in time for a global cooling. The Ice Age was just beginning. What a pickle, Icklicker mused. It is unknown how many years he lay there, completely immobilized by ice, before a cosmic event launched him free through time. What is known is that the Earth's rotation around the sun is facilitated by the rolling feet of the great Dung Beetle of time. This ball of filth that we call home is spun in rotation around its cyclical route. On the very rare occasion, a tear forms in the Earth's atmosphere. Even more rarely, if the tear doesn't close quickly enough, the foot of the great Dung Beetle of time comes crashing through, stirring up dust clouds of centuries. The dust eventually settles itself, but it sure is confusing to the lives of those surrounding the temporal smash. Of all the places to be, of all the chances infinitesimally small, Icklicker managed to take a direct hit from the clawed end of the great fifth Tarsus, a hit which sent him flying through time and space at least 10 millennia into the future. He found himself launched into the depths of Lake Ontario, where, still mostly frozen solid, he washed up on Cherry Beach. In the heat of the early summer, Icklicker began to thaw. Those were some sweet tunes, brah. Derek coughed out a thick plume of weed smoke. I actually leaned into them, like a music pillow. He passed the massive joint back to Jake. What fucking tunes? Jake asked with a voice like sandpaper. He took a long drag and held it as he spoke. I only heard color, but I don't know, I'm fucking high, man. Exhale. It was very late, very dark, and most people were already gone from the beach. The Cherry Beach party had ended a few hours ago, but time operates differently on THC. The two men noticed a shape against the water. The moonlight through the ice made it gleam enticingly for a closer look. Holy! Jake sanded the air with his voice. It's an old guy! Some fucking kid's froze an old guy to our beach! Who would do that? He was becoming upset. Jake was a young 50, and felt personally attacked by the acts of elder abuse. Wait, How do you know it was kids? Derek looked at his friend and landlord, confused. Well, I don't. But who else would freeze an old guy on the fucking beach? One hand free from ice, Icklicker's finger twitched. Whoa. He's still alive. Let's get this guy to your place and thaw him. Much strenuous effort and 1 hour of TTC transit later, they made it to Derek's filthy basement apartment underneath Jake's house. Hey, make some room in the tub for this guy. My arms are killing me, Jake heaved. Derek scooped some empties from the tub and helped Jake lower him in. Bruh, this better not affect my reasonable enjoyment of this place. I know my tenant rights. A possum screamed somewhere in the filthy kitchen. Yeah, turn on the hot water. They left him to finish melting on his own so that they could blaze up in the living room. A quick flash of arms cleared the cushions of crusts and spent joints. Jake turned on the TV while Derek filled a huge bong. The program was some low-rent cooking show called My Poor Kitchen. A few episodes passed by before they noticed the old man standing behind them, gawking at the TV set, unable to take his eyes off the host, Marge. Icklicker had never seen anyone more enchanting. She looked so young, so fresh, maybe 60 or so. A tight white bun, broad shoulders, sinewy muscles. She looked like she'd survived a long time on less than farro and beetle mash. Beautiful. Bruh, Derek whispered, tapping Jake. If I could see him, fuck! But Icklicker couldn't even notice the two strange men in this dirty, strange place over Marge's face. Guy! Hey, Guy! You hungry? You're really getting into this cooking show. Icklicker couldn't understand the language here and now. He was saved by the door opening and a young lady stepping into the apartment. She looked around, exasperated at the fact that it still hadn't been cleaned. Then at her boyfriend, Derek. Then at her boyfriend's landlord, dealer friend. Then she saw Icklicker, an ancient-looking wraith of a man, dripping wet and draped in rags. She shrieked, Oh my God, behind you! She jabbed her finger at Icklicker. Startled, he stumbled backward a couple steps. It's cool, brah. Derek held his hand up to his girlfriend. Her nostrils flared with steam. She took a second to breathe it out. First of all, Derek, I'm not your brah. I'm your girlfriend. Second, why is there an old wet vagrant in your disgusting living room? Sorry, Shira, he said sheepishly. He couldn't afford to lose his girlfriend. Literally. Her parents were paying his rent down here, whether they knew it or not. Shira was naturally dramatic, though, a theater actor. She flicked her dark curls over her shoulder. So, okay, I'm leaving again. I'm not staying in this absolute pigsty, and he will be gone by tomorrow. Capiche? Shira threw a nod at Derek. A glare at Jake. I mean it, Derek. Last chance. And she was gone. It was after 2 a.m. Actors keep odd hours. Icklicker was stunned for several reasons. Jake took one more hit on the bong, then stretched his legs. Well, I'm going up. You heard that woman. Guess we have to find this guy a new fucking home tomorrow. Wait, you're not taking him? Fuck no. The air always felt smoother after Jake scrubbed it with his voice. He can sleep on the couch. Consider it your service to the elderly. Fine. But if I wake up in the dead in the morning, it's on you, brah. Icklicker opened his mouth to speak. Marge, he sighed. The TV was just loud enough for him to hear key details. He used a little bit of magic to start picking up English. Jake pointed at the TV on his way to the door. Maybe we should try a road trip to Niagara tomorrow. I hear she lives out on the escarpment. Night. His voice was heavy with gravel and the devil's lettuce. And now, a plan. Until next time.